and welcome to the FoxyBros podcast, the show where we talk about topics and see where the conversation takes us. I'm your host, Foxy, and let's get straight into it. I am joined by two guests. Thanks, Thatcher. I'm joined by my two guests today, Tony and Dennis. How are you two doing?
Fantastic.
Yeah, just letting you know, it's an audio as well. It's going out audio first before it goes out video.
Perfect.
You're all right.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to actually speak up.
Okay, that's my problem.
Hear me now, Foxy.
So how are you two doing tonight?
Great, muddling along, unemployed, all that good stuff. COVID's great. But look, all things considered, could be worse.
What about yourself, Tony?
Great. Currently employed and just finished work a little while ago to rub the salt in the wound.
That was a bit of a rub-in, no, that was.
That was, yeah, I could see that.
At least you know who's the heel of this one.
I'm that in between. I have temporary work for the Christmas, so yes.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
But yes, we have currently entered into TNA Lockdown 3, and yeah, it's a good reference. But so how have you been, apart from the unemployment and lack of like stuff? How have you been handling lockdown number 3?
Well, for me personally, like, look, it's hard to describe really. I kind of, because my job, so I've been laid off 4 times now, because of COVID. And what happens is I keep getting rehired and then furloughed again, and it's really kind of the ups and downs kind of really messes with your head, because you're like, oh yeah, back to work, get some money. You're still nervous about COVID or whatever, but at least you're going to get some money coming in. But then within like 3 to 4 days, you're like, go again, and suddenly you're down again. So it's kind of it hit very hard there, was very up and down. But then, much like the first one, after, comfort eating and lounging around for a long, long time, kind of started getting proactive again, started working out properly and doing little things and trying to just put a routine on the day. I think that's kind of was what was important for me, was like, certain time I have my breakfast, certain time I work out, certain time I do this and that, and and kind of put a bit of structure on it. So I've kind of settled into it a little bit now. I would love to be back at work, but I also want me and my family to be safe. So it takes as long as it takes at this stage, and kind of just gearing up for that. That's for me anyway.
What about yourself, Tony?
See, for me, I didn't stop working, but I was working in the same place. It's a big warehouse where I'm from, which employs probably around 200 people. So the struggle was real from day one, that there had to be social distancing in it. But even though it's I think it's like one of the biggest warehouses in Ireland, it's still very hard to be able to manage to keep a distance for people when you are in the same particular area, try to pick as fast as they want you to, which unfortunately means you have to be beside people, and whole hullabaloo during the first one, but then everyone got used to it into the swing. It just became, while everyone seemed to be able to get things done during lockdown, everyone be able to get DID stuff done and all that, I'm just like, no, I don't know that. So it felt a little bit different for me because it didn't quite feel like lockdown.
Yeah.
Like it's like for lockdown, obviously, like it's, and for me, it's very weird because like for the first 2 lockdowns, I was a hermit. I didn't come out of the house unless I was doing essential, like, so going for the shopping. But with this one, it's completely different because I got temporary work for the holidays, and it's so weird going into city centre, which is the busiest part of Dublin, and just no, like I always find that like with Christmas, like people's ignorance really comes out.
Oh yeah.
Really shines.
Oh yeah.
And especially like like with retail is just like as much as they should be getting praised for what they do, but they don't. They get treated like low on the totem pole, as they say. It's 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 infuriating because like a simple like just can you do the like clear markings on the floor 2 meters apart and people can't do that. They're standing in huddled up beside each other on a queue, then not queuing and just walking in, not like using the sanitizer, not doing this. It's infuriating for
People are just ignorant to this stage.
like
even in my work, the amount of people I had to kick out for refusing to wear masks and silly things like that. You know, whereas employees are wearing masks for 8 hours a day straight on, and you don't want to pop on your mask for the few minutes that you're going to be in. I've in the first lockdown, I probably would have had a little bit more tolerance. At this stage, I have no tolerance. No. Not putting it on and putting you out. It's not like at this stage with kind of cases and stuff the way they are. My personal opinion is there's no excuse.
No.
And you're not fighting any kind of just battle. You're just being an idiot. That huge a deal.
My biggest gripe with at the moment is that where I work is inside, do you know the ILEX Centre?
Yeah.
I work in Regatta, the outdoor clothing store.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is in the centre. Now, by law, you have to wear a mask indoors, regardless.
Yep.
People can't seem to do that. Like you have to walk into the centre to walk into the store that I work in.
Yep.
And people can't seem to do that. And when they do actually walk in, we have to tell them, it's like, can you please put on a mask? And you get like some people that's like, I'm asthmatic. So instantly they just continue walking as if like.
The amount of times I've had that.
Little do they know, ha ha ha, I am asthmatic.
Have you just holding down your hand for the last 5 minutes waiting?
No, I didn't. But like for the audio format, yeah, I'm holding up a Ventolin inhaler, like because I am an asthmatic. Now, I am not the only one that is asthmatic in my job, and both of us are wearing a mask for whatever shift that we're doing, and it could be a long shift. Like I did 11 hours last week, straight, like on one day, and it's hell when you have to wear a mask all the day. But it's infuriating when someone walks in and you tell them, it's like, sir, can you please put on a mask? It's like, no, I'm exempt. What is your reason? And they don't tell you. I don't have to explain myself. Well, then you
do. Yeah, exactly. The thing is, like, I've had that as well, where it's been, I'm exempt. And I go, okay, cool. Can I see like a little slip of paper or something from your doctor? Just because, you know, I'm worried about other people's safety. I'm worried about other people's safety. So I need proof, essentially. Yeah. So, and the proof is never there. I've never gotten it yet. And so each and every time I'm putting them out and they're going, it's discrimination. And I don't care at this stage. I really don't care. I don't care about your fight for fucking freedom to breathe. I don't give a shit. Right? I don't care anymore. That's where I am at this stage of the lockdown.
I've been like that since the start. You're told to wear masks, like
it's not that hard.
It's really not. I mean, again, if we all can do it for whatever our work shift is, which is at least multiple hours in a row, then you can do it for however long you're going to be in that premises, which is not going to be as long as us. So just put on the damn bit of cloth over your face and shut up.
It's worse for us because unlike women, we have big, massive fucking bushy beards. Which just decide to soak up all the heat.
Yep.
And make it fantastic. So itchy.
Yep.
And then I love also eating my beard. It's a very great hobby of mine with the mask.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If I do get back to work soon, I'm going to have to trim this up again. If the masks are still in effect, I'm going to have to be trimming this up because I can't eat it again. It's just too much, man.
I had to trim a mustache because it was just
too much.
Couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
So I can't wear one of those face masks. I would literally work in a chiller.
Oh,
so it wouldn't work. I'd end up crashing into bloody people. It would be funny, but
Yeah, like it's not that hard. Like it is infuriating. Like it was one of those situations that I had to walk out of the store floor
Mm.
for at least like 2 to 3 minutes so that I could calm myself down, because that's how infuriating that kind of excuse is and that behavior.
Yeah.
But obviously that's the world we live in. People that choose to be ignorant, and unfortunately, like, yeah, like it's not something to be playing around with just because we have a vaccine on the horizon. Um, but
which isn't 100%.
exactly, like none of them are 100%. But like, no, I'm not gonna lie about it. Like, if it became available to me like tomorrow, I will fucking take it.
I'll be taking it.
Like, well, a fucking doubt.
I'll be taking it because, much like you, Foxy, the idea of having to go back to work those shifts again with a mask on is not appealing. Not that I can take the mask off straight away when you have the vaccine. Obviously,
No.
you have to wait for it all. But
Yeah.
what I mean is working towards the goal of being able to go to work normal
Yes.
and not have to wear a mask and be able to do it would make everything just so much more tolerable.
And the thing is, like, I'm not intolerant. Like, I don't have a problem with the mask at all. Like, and it's what also infuriates me, because, like, yes, I'm asthmatic, but I still wear the mask. And I've had this conversation with people in shops, like when I'm buying stuff, they just don't want to wear the mask for the same reason that I fucking have a mask on. But what makes it worse is that, like, now my son he's asthmatic as well, and he has autism, so therefore he is in the higher like category of at risk.
Yeah.
But yet he wears a mask, because I'm not raising my son to be an ignorant bastard.
Like, I wear a mask, but I also wear this as well.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Because
Nice.
I cycle everywhere, and also I want to make it look cool. But if
Yeah.
I can wear bloody 2 layers just for the sake of a little bit of comedy, people can wear bloody one there. Like, I
Yeah.
actually seen on Facebook this woman in, I think it was Dublin. She literally quit her job because this woman, don't know if she quit, but she left the job because one woman refused to take her mask off going into a cafe before the lockdown came into effect. It was literally, she was like, it's because of you, my hours been cut, Christmas is ruined, etc. All true valid points.
Yes.
And she just walks out, and the girl's just ignorant, being like, fine, I'll put my mask on then.
Ugh.
It's just like, it's not like it's a new thing.
No. We've had it for
9 months
nearly a
now.
year.
Yeah.
9-10 months at this stage.
Christ, it has nearly been a year. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a brand new latest trend.
It's only
it's
been in for a
literally-
couple of weeks. No,
It's literally, I have, like, in every single jacket I have a different bloody mask in it, just so I always have it.
it's just the way you have to. You have to have like the masks at the ready, like no matter what, like in whatever coat you have it in your bag as an extra, just in case you lose one, because guaranteed you're going to lose one.
Oh yeah, like,
Or you
I
can
find
have
my
really
bag.
fancy ones.
Oh, look, if I don't have my mask on me, if I've forgotten it at home or something, guess what? I'm turning around and going home because I'm not going into a fucking shop because I'm not a dickhead.
Yes.
Like, you know, like,
Yes. But
I have actually forgotten my mask before, and I have had to. I basically
did you at least put your shirt up or something up over your face?
Yes, I basically quickly ran in, put the car down, quickly went back, and was like, "Can you quickly charge me a mask and throw them back out to me?" Just because, obviously, with this, you're trying to be as considerate as possible to other people.
Yeah.
It's like bumping into someone. You nearly always say sorry,
yes,
unless you're ignorant. And the
I-
people that don't wear masks are those people that don't say anything.
I didn't realize how anxious and on edge I could get until like
Oh,
all
come
this
here.
really came into play. Like, as I said earlier, with the queues, like they're clearly marked, but the fact that people can't follow that, like, it's just
No,
like,
I've literally nearly gotten in fist fights at this. Like, I try not to actually, if finances allow, I try to get my shopping and stuff delivered in now, because the last few times we've gone, myself and my wife, it's literally only because my wife is there has stopped a fight happening where somebody's just up either fucking right on me or on her or something like that, and it's just I have a temper. So like,
so do I, and I just
I've actually only lost my cool once or twice. I've tried to keep as calm about as possible, and I've took extra precautions to make sure that none happens, which then infuriates you. But what can you do?
like I do. I just find myself like on edge all the time. I find anytime that we have to bring like my son out or my daughter, I'm constantly on edge because I'm like, right, move in. They're trying to get by, or because they're not fucking like being polite or anything or waiting. It's like I'm constantly worried about them, so therefore I'm getting really anxious and just I'm slowly losing my cool as well, and I don't want to be out at all. I just want to go back home.
Completely understandable.
Yeah,
but like I'm single, no kids, so it's different for me. I don't have the added pressure of thinking about the kids, because obviously your kids are everything, so you have to make sure that that they're safe in every regard.
But like yeah, like I do, like I know we've kind of like ranted about it. It's like how much it's infuriating, and I don't want to bore people too much because they've probably experienced it or been in the same situation
of course,
themselves.
everybody's in the same boat.
But obviously, as this ties into it, how do you think when this eventually like dies down, how do you think this will affect wrestling?
Oh, I mean, saying there, like, that's a huge question. Like,
It is.
mean,
and I don't think anyone will have a proper answer for it at all.
That's the thing. You see,
it's all opinion based.
Yeah. So if
everyone has one,
if I was forced to say about it, I think it'll be back, and I in what form, I don't know. I don't know if, we might go down the route for a while of like those cinematic kind of matches or that type of thing, or integrating that a little bit more. We've seen the likes of Phoenix do small crowd with a live stream.
They're Lock, Stock, and one.
2 meters apart.
Yeah, exactly. Which by all accounts went very well, and it was a great show. And they were using kind of their local talent for that, which is great. I think so. If it's a comeback, firstly, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. I don't think it's going to be. Oh God. I mean, 2021 would even be optimistic, in my opinion. I mean, maybe late 2021,
Winter
maybe.
21.
I would say mid 2021 at the earliest.
Yeah.
But at the latest, it won't be until 2022.
Yeah.
But I am excited because with this, we'll have brand new faces finally getting their chance, which I'm so excited for.
I was just going to say, you'll see, I think, a lot more Irish talent. There'll be less kind of international imports brought in out of necessity. I think you'll see a lot of people who would never have gotten that shot now getting it and being there and doing which is just absolutely just so exciting and so fantastic for everybody. I mean, I'm sure I know I do, and I'm sure you do as well, have several people that you'd love to see getting that call, but
Lad, I have a whole list of people that I'm dying to see, like dying for them to finally get their shot, because I know how good this is going to be, like, going forward, like if they get their chance.
Yeah. Like there's several people, like, obviously, look, I'm speaking selfishly, I want a shot too, now I wouldn't be as high on those lists as certain other people, and I know.
Wait, sorry, who are you?
That's just like stab
and twist.
No twist yet. Like that'll come later.
Like there's a certain, I know there's several people that me and Foxy both agree on, because we've talked about it several times, of who to come down and all that. But yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes. I'm sure there's plans in place. I don't know what they are. but I'm sure it's going to be a different landscape. I mean, it almost. I think in my head it's going to be like a relaunch, like a new beginning.
I think
You
with a
know?
lot of the promotions, it kind of have to be.
Yeah.
Just with, especially because it's unprecedented that a promotion has had, just say by the time it goes on, nearly a year and a half of inactivity.
Yeah, but I think that the audience will be there. For no matter what happens, I think the audience will be understanding to a degree. Of it as well. And I think, look, I think it's ultimately going to work out well, because you're going to get new stars, you're going to have new faces, new heels, all that stuff coming up. Yeah, if nothing else, it's going to be damn interesting to see what happens. Now, that's the main events. Now, as far as like schools and stuff goes, that's a whole other conversation. With them, like certain schools are still going and fine. But there's like other schools are now gone, and I mean,
or temporary closed.
Yeah.
Until further notice, anyway. But
so I mean, it'll be that'll have to come back, and that definitely won't be till 2022
at least.
because there's a whole slew of things there going on. So
even with shows, it would have to be low capacity crowds.
Yes, without doubt.
Even with that, I could see the tickets going out in like a minute flat. The amount of people that want to watch wrestling live so much, like, especially in Ireland.
Like, as much as people are like, because I find like Twitter is the worst for it, but like people seem to live in it. They love Twitter. They love living on it and waiting for any like gossip. But with it, like regardless of what's going on, if there is wrestling, people are starved for it right now.
Yeah.
They're starved for that live experience of going to a show and just enjoying it with friends or people who are of like-minded. And it's definitely something that's been missed, not only by fans, but like the people involved. Like, I mean, for God's sake, I miss it. Like when you go from like doing it constantly to not doing it at all, like nothing involving it. It's fucking like so daunting because you don't know what to do with yourself. And like, but I can definitely see it being it like you said, like if there was going to be a low capacity show, I could definitely see that being done, because it's definitely the logical step of possibly doing empty arena and then slowly integrating a few fans and slowly increasing that until we can prove that we can do it in a safe environment, and then eventually we can finally have.
And you know
full
something,
shows.
there's actually kind of an added benefit to doing maybe an empty arena thing as well, maybe a pre-taped or something like that, where if you do have some new guys coming in who maybe aren't as, confident in their abilities or whatever, pre-taping, maybe, we can do a little bit of editing magic or something like that until they're comfortable on their feet. I know it's not perfect, but it is a way of maybe getting a little bit of comfort in there too,
Fight Factory do a brilliant thing, and I know they've taken it from somewhere. I think it was from Germany, but they do a thing with some of their trainees before shows where they do dark matches, and the audience is the
crew
boys,
for the day.
the crew.
Yeah.
And
that's a great idea.
It's an amazing.
That's a fantastic idea,
because not only is it you're around people that you're training with, but at the same time, they give the trainees a better response than the lads would get on a show. And it's fucking hilarious, but brilliant at the same time.
I mean, to be fair, I've done those training, man, not in Fight Factory, but you've done, and I'm sure you've done them as well, where it is, you get the boys are around the ring and everybody, everybody's facing the heel, and you give the kind of stereotypical audience reactions to it and all that. But they're, to do that like before a live event is a fantastic idea. It gives trainees and stuff a chance to work a crowd, to learn how to kind of act, to feed off them and what not to do and all that. And as if I'm some sort of fucking expert, but I mean, like, you know, like, but that's the general idea.
Like with the, like it's a brilliant idea because like I love it because I've loved like having to do to refer it because it also plays into something that I really like doing, and that's helping younger
Yeah.
lads. And I love it because these lads, like, you've had experience before where like you've seen people that are very inexperienced, and you know what happens, they lose track of what they have to do, and obviously when they're new, they're not going to know what to do, so it's like a train wreck, it's like deer in the headlights. But by having me there, it's they have an experienced person there to kind of guide them along and hopefully make them have a decent match or to the best that they can produce.
Yeah.
But they come out feeling better about it than what they would if they didn't have like an experienced person there.
Yeah. I mean, they
Also,
have. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, but also the venue could help as well. So just say if it's a different venue than where they usually do their training, where they're literally in the full ring with, even if it's an empty arena, it doesn't matter. You're in a completely different setup. Obviously, the crew there, that's grand. You have lads usually viewing you at all times. But the fact that you get to do it in just say if it was with National Stadium, you're doing the dark match there. You're literally in the venue.
Yep.
So it does give an added extra experience to the entire thing.
It does. Like with that, it's also a very different experience because it opens up your perspective of okay, the scale. So you're going from like a small little dingy like little training facility to probably a bigger facility, and then eventually like escalating to all right, I'm in a GAA hall, it's very big, wide, like there's no one here. Then you can do like the National Stadium where it's just empty chairs but there's so many.
Yeah.
Like you just start thinking about it, it's like 2200 can be in here, like full capacity. That's crazy. That could be me one day. Like it's just different like perspective on that. But it's a great learning experience because it gets you used to okay, how things will look when you're working when there's all the crew around. As I said, they give you a great experience and give you a better feeling because they react to things much easier than a real crowd would. But it's still experience and get you more confident in your ability. Like it's more just to get you used to how be live. Well, somewhat live.
Yeah. Also, where you are, like, just say if it's like in a place where you literally have barely any room to move.
Mm.
The only place you're usually looking is where the people are, which is usually two sides of the ring, and the other two sides are completely closed off. There's no one there.
Yeah.
So you're not really fully aware of the entire surrounding. So you might be a little bit lax in one way because like they can't see it if my headlock has a big massive arm. But I'm in a big massive venue. They could definitely see that. I should probably tuck in a little bit more.
Yes, like little things like that. That's why I say like it when you this in terms of the scale, it definitely helps you like learn about what you can get away with and what you can't. Now I've worked in venues where it's like the stadium, like it's one of the biggest. That and the National Basketball Arena, they're the biggest venues that I've performed in, well, without doubt. But I've also performed in little dingy gyms and also theaters where there's literally just like one side. The crowd is just one side. And I don't know, Dennis, if you've been to like an NLW show.
I haven't, but I mean, I back in the day, I'm sure you were working the show, but I managed a theater where we did have .ie were in, and yeah, it's like it's completely it's a different style completely because you're working towards one side, of the entire ring, and it's very odd. It's that's the best word I can think. It's an odd show. I mean, it's fun, and I mean, like the kids and stuff loved it at the time. But it's from a wrestling perspective, it's very strange to see.
But I always credit like wrestling.ie because like each venue, especially when I was working with them, like because I worked with them 3 years solid, like straight through. and then it was just be sporadic. But during those 3 years, I was with the same crew every week, traveling to different parts of the country, and you get different venues every week. So therefore, like what works in say Waterford will not work in say Galway or
Yeah.
Athlone. Like it's just so you had to learn with each show. So it gets you get your mind trained up a lot better, as well
Yeah.
as you because you're working the same crew, you start becoming more solid in your wrestling, and the matches become a lot tighter. So therefore, when you do bigger, and because they're not taped as well, when you finally do a local show where people are going to see you more regularly, that's when you bust out like your all your learning skill, like all the skills you've learned, you start bringing them together, and that's when people start to notice, oh, he's gotten better. He's gotten better
Yeah.
since the last I seen him, and then eventually, like you realize, you see the growth of these performers as they go on, and that's why you get invested in them, and therefore you're so happy when they do well. Say like they get a booking abroad or they get signed to like WWE or otherwise. Like it's mental to see that, and .e is fantastic for that. But like as I said, different crowds. So you could go from working a kid show like one, like we've done it where we do two shows in the one venue in the day. So like we do 12 o'clock show, then we do I want to say 7 o'clock show or 5 or 7 o'clock. But the early shows for the kids. Second one is more for the teens and adults.
Yeah.
So you're working two different styles
Yeah.
of shows now, and you may get some people that went to the kids show, but they're coming back for the later show because they want to see what the difference is, or if it plays out the same like a scripted show.
Like
And
I
that's
know
the thing, it keeps you on your feet. Like, I mean, you can't
Exactly.
just repeat,
No.
you know?
No, but it's amazing. Like it's a great learning tool for anyone that's involved in wrestling, or is trained to be wrestlers, or not even just being a wrestler. Like if you're trained, like for me, I was I got involved with wrestling day because of being a referee. I was asked to come in, ref a show. Obviously Stephen Muldoon liked what I was doing, so he brought me back and kept me on. But I was working with a solid crew for those 3 years
Oh man,
straight.
the lineup, even when you were in there, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's a who's who of kind
Irish
of
wrestling.
Irish wrestling hierarchy. Like, I mean,
Like,
oh god,
like you
I
have
don't. But you had the likes of Corvin, you have Bonesaw, you have
Duncan, Paul
Paddy M,
Tracy, Paddy M, Sean
Duncan. Yeah,
Maxar, fucking like
yeah.
you had a Devlin, you had a fucking like you had a Joker Bray.
You
It was
had
fucking
David in there at some point as well, I think.
yeah. You had
Yeah.
we had Devitt, we had fucking like we had Big Damo, we had Magnus, we had Grado, we had Lionheart, we had loads of different people that would float in and out. We had Marty Skrull when he was still doing Party Marty.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Oh man, the lineups were like insanely good. Like,
he was just
You
over
know?
for a random like little like few dates. Same with Zack Sabre Jr. He was over for a couple of dates as well. It was just so random. And this was before like he got really like before he really took off. It's mental that like the especially like British lads, they tend to come over because they do the camps over in England, the
Yeah.
camp shows. They tend to travel over, and what they learn from the camp shows, they bring it over here as well. So they're well suited for that style, but they get to mix it up with lads that they're not familiar with, and then therefore they can move on. It's but it's crazy to see the progression, especially when you see someone in the early days and then they come back over, say a year or two later, and they're completely different. Like they've just got it. Like
Yeah.
everything is clicked. Like they have their wrestling skill, they have their look, they have their gimmick. They just know how to present themselves. It's mental, but fantastic to watch.
And what I love about the smaller shows by the smaller promotions is that some of the stars just say like the main promotion I ever go to is OTT, because when I started watching Irish wrestling a few years ago, it was the main one. So obviously, but then I go to over to Nace, the LW, and you see some of the stars that are in OTT doing with different completely people, different gimmicks, different, which just it works so good because you see a completely different side to them, completely different aspect to them. Although actually, I'm very disappointed in you, Foxy, because I tried to get you to do a flip, and you wouldn't do one.
Oh yes, I remember this. Like, yes.
I just imagine the one drunken guy at a kid show going,
I was sober.
Foxy.
I was
he was
sober.
sober. But
Just because I have alcohol now does not mean I was drinking at a kid show.
but the funny thing was that like he'd obviously gone to the OTT show like I think the night before.
I think it was literally the night before.
Where
Where you did the flip.
I'd done a flip.
Yeah.
So therefore, like he thought he was being smart. It's like, so he's like, do a flip. So I look out. I couldn't see where he was. But I'm just like, no, I done my quota for the night. Like I did that last night. Sorry, that's my quota for the year.
It was the fact that you were with one of the lads from Modern Hype, and that's who you'd done it with. So
Yeah.
I was just like this. Will I be the smart guy? Yes, because everyone else looks about 12.
Actually, here's one for you, Foxy. Right? I'm sure this has had to have happened to you. It's kind of on that point. Have you ever? I ask because I'll tell you my story real quick about it. But have you ever looked out into the audience and just seen like somebody you know doing something or looking at you in a certain way that's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, and you're just it's like you're corpsing. Like big time, and it happened to me. Do you know? It happened to me in National Stadium, right? So it was the entrance with the security guards.
Yes.
Remember that? So I had butterflies. Like I'm one of the security guards. I'm standing up there in front of 2,000 odd people, never there. Like I mean, man, it's a different world in that ring. God bless you, Foxy, right? But like I was nervous getting in there, right? But I was standing there, looking all serious, doing the security thing, and all that. And I look out and I see my friend, right? I could pick his big fucking head out in the crowd, right? I just managed to look over, see him, and he just has this goofiest face on him. He's just like, and I swear to God, there's a point you just see me like looking down, and I'm like, please don't laugh right now.
Please don't catch me on the camera, Matthew. Please.
Yeah. And,
please don't catch me, John, with the photo. Please.
And yes,
because they would. They would catch
they would absolutely.
I was like 1, 2, 3.
That has actually happened. That has actually happened. Mid count, I'd start laughing and almost forget the count.
Have you looked out into the crowd and seen somebody that just set you off?
Yes, that has happened a fair few times. Go to any NLW show, and that will happen like every match, because the reason why like me and a few others always say like NLW shows are the most fun that we've had is because off to the side behind the curtain is the boys, and they're constantly trying to pop each other because the show isn't recorded, so therefore like we can act a bit of the bollocks, but it's a kid, but in the parameters of a kid's show.
Yeah.
So we're trying to see what slides under the radar, and it's absolutely brilliant. But anytime you get Paddy Morrow,
I was going to say, why do I think Paddy's going to be involved in this somewhere?
Paddy Morrow, Justy, Be Cool, or who else is great for Sammy D?
Right.
They're absolutely brilliant for it. Like they make me laugh like it's no business. Like
you see what I'm saying there.
It's not hard. It's not hard to do that because like you've seen it. I've fucking corpse at nearly everything. But I can't do stoic like stone faced. but I love NLW for it because like it's some of the most fun I've had, and it's nice change of pace compared to doing like these big time matches for OTT. I mean that match that you're referencing, that was a Meltzer 5-star match.
Yep.
And it's like to be able to say that like I'm part of a 5-star match. Now, not that like people always say like his ratings are shit, but like look, it's still heavily regarded regardless like of what people think. Like his opinion still carries weight.
Yeah,
and
no matter what anyone says,
to be in a 5-star match, it's like, damn, that's good. Like from us, like a small country, and we're producing this level of like wrestling is great. But yeah, like it's NLW is a different pace to that. Like going from really serious, story driven, like kind of matches to just let's have a laugh. Let's pop each other and let's have fun. But like,
But you have to do it. Like, I mean, you go mad. There
absolutely,
has to be some sort of kind of letdown and kind of have a bit of fun when you're in there. Like, I mean, if it stops being fun, you shouldn't be doing it.
exactly.
You know?
Like
Um,
I've said it to a couple of people that like now it's normal to have nerves. Like
yeah,
everyone has it, but like it also shows that you care as well. And if you ask the majority of people that are like backstage, like they before they go out there, then barrel of nerves, and it shows that they care because they want to go out there and produce like a really good match or do really well or want to impress this person. Like it's just, but when you don't have that, it's like you shouldn't be there. You
yeah,
should if it becomes too uh sorry, probably monotonous or just it's too casual for you. It's not in your like it's zero effort kind of thing.
yeah,
That
You just see it as a, oh, I have to do this again.
yeah.
To-
Then no, obviously you're either you shouldn't be in it or you're at a level that's far above what's here. So you need to go somewhere else where you are back at the bottom of the totem pole and work your way up again. You are
yeah.
not challenged enough. That's what that is. So I do like to believe that that's the case. They're at a level that like okay, they're past like what's expected here. So therefore like they need to move on. Quietly move on to somewhere that's out of their wheelhouse. Like but yeah, like they are fun. Like small shows are a lot fun. A lot more fun than big time shows. But I do enjoy being able to tell a story.
Mm.
I love that. So like when I have to I always found it funny that like we'd go for months without me being involved or doing anything in matches, like just one contender show where every single match wants to use me in something. It's like so I'm going up and it's like I'm not the one asking them to do this.
You jumping through the ropes as well.
Well, that wasn't my idea, but I still went through it. Like I do like to say that I'll do anything for the sake of the show. Like if it'll help it, I'm glad to do it. If it doesn't help, then there's
Pointless.
no
Yeah.
point.
It's pointless.
Yeah,
There's no point.
yeah,
Literally.
Like, I mean, that's to me as well. Like, I'm the same. Like, I'm sure I annoy some people, and I'm sure I piss off others. At the end of the day, I want what's best for it. This is a business I wanted to be in since I was a kid.
Mm.
Now, I left it very late in my life to get into it. That's on me. Whatever.
Oh, same.
Yeah, life happened. It got in the way. So the whole wrestling thing, because of the pandemic and stuff, it may not pan out how I wanted to pan out, but I still I've spoken to people about it. I still want to be involved, be it as a referee, a manager, commentator, anything. Hell, I'll just go back to helping do the ring again. I don't care. I want to be involved. I want to help because
Here's a
it's
question.
something I love.
Yes.
Will you go out in a bikini with a scorecard?
If
Round one.
if a certain man says to do it, then I'll do it. But I can't
That's what
see
you're
him.
saying. You do anything.
I can't see him asking that question.
Oh,
You don't think either.
I was talking to said boss man the other day because I'd sent him a picture
Mm.
because I was watching the old Wards promos.
Oh, brilliant!
The what promo? Sorry.
The Wards.
Wards.
Oh,
And have you ever actually seen these, Tony?
no. It's pre my
Oh
watching.
Lord!
Oh, you don't even have to watch any matches. Like there's a series of promos on YouTube. I will link them to you later, but just watch them because they still hold up even today. Like, and these took place like at the start of OTT, but goddamn, they're so funny. Like, I love them. I sent him a photo of it, a screenshot, and all I got back was just like, "I'm jacked." After me sending like the screenshot and just saying like these, I fucking love these. These still hold up, and he just comes back and like, "I'm jacked." Yeah, I love it. Like it's, but like that's a testament to like how good like and how much people wanted to actually. Uh, we didn't realize at the time, especially early OTT, but we could feel that we were building towards something.
Yeah.
And I find that when you look back at those promos, you're just like, that's lads that just want to fucking, all right, produce really good stuff, whether it be like as a promo or a wrestling match or otherwise. And goddamn, like it shows. Like the fact that those promos still hold up, like
Look,
years
you've
later.
some great minds behind it, like for the business that I think genuinely love the business again, and hence, in my opinion, OTT is one of the best promotions in the world. I mean, it at its height. I mean, Jesus Christ, it was fantastic. Um, I'm speaking about it like it's dead, but I mean, the range of talent, the booking on it, everything. I mean, obviously, it's not without its flaws, but um, generally speaking, it's one of the few wrestling shows I can say I've thoroughly enjoyed. Everyone I've either been on crew or in attendance or anything like that, I've still enjoyed them all. You know,
What
I
do
can't say
yourself,
that
man?
about many wrestling shows I watch these days.
What I love about wrestling is so unique is that for a lot of sports or different activities, people that go into it are doing it for specific reasons. For wrestling, nearly 100% is for the love of it. You have very few places where it's for the love. It's usually for the money or the glory or something like that. It, indie wrestling is definitely not for the glory or the money.
No,
It's
no.
for the love.
Pretty much like with the like as you said, like with the crew of people that just wanted to do like for the love of wrestling, like they wanted to do produce like the best things possible. But like it's OTT went from being like just a small like little startup promotion that was catered only to adults, and then it grew. Like obviously because it had very relatable characters that people could latch onto and get behind.
Yep.
But I mean like over time it grew and it spread out to being like, okay, we were on the Fringe Festival. That was a big step for us. And then we moved on from that. We started doing like bigger shows. Like we did the 2 night WrestleCon where we had like imports over like Chris Hero, Abyss, Hornswoggle, and otherwise. But like then eventually making it to the National Stadium, which is 2200, like the National Basketball Arena, and then still continuing with the Fringe, but escalating with each year. And whereas
Starting to
like
take it out on the road as well, and
taking it out on the road, like we not only did like we weren't only Dublin based now. We started doing Belfast. We did
hell, before the pandemic, booked in Waterford
yeah,
in the
we
arena down here.
we had planned to do Waterford. Like
Yep.
we had done Cork, like
Yep.
2019. We did Cork,
And it got
and
packed down there. Like,
yeah, packing speedball, damn, like, but like, and we were doing was it Waterford? No, not Waterford.
Galway.
Galway. I'm trying to remember, but
I
we did
remember
the
quiz.
but we did the Fringe Festival there for the last 3 years. It's been so fun doing them. Uh, but not only that, like in terms of the scale, like we not only went from being just Dublin based and Ireland based, we started to become world based
Yep.
because of the level of talent. Like matches were starting to reach people abroad, and people wanted to come
You
over
had
here.
you had big names saying
They
that it
wanted
was
to
one
come
of their
over.
favorite places to work.
Hmm.
You know, and like Pete Dunne and stuff like that. You
Pete
know,
Dunne,
talks dreamily about the Tivoli still. You know,
And that's
Like-
saying something.
like Pete Dunne, who like doesn't need to like he could easily just like move on, but like he still regards like the Tivoli as one of his favorite places he's been to.
Yep.
Like you wouldn't think about like Zach Gibson. Zach Gibson loved the Tivoli because it was a very
intimate.
yes, like the Tivoli brought its own memories with it because like it was such a compact shithole, but it was our own shithole.
But it was our shithole.
Yes, but it has so many memories. Like if you look back on like Irish wrestling, and the fact that the imports like they grew to not be imports, they grew to be one of our own. I mean, like as evidence, like we had like the first OTT show, we had Ryan Smile and fucking Pete Dunne, and I mean, like if they didn't set the standard, Jesus Christ, like the fact that all the Irish lads had to top that,
Yeah.
like what they produced, I basically pushed us to get better. So like, I mean, yeah, it just shows you like we, as much as we needed some imports, like we've been lucky enough to get the imports that we got. But I mean, like if we didn't have like the likes of a Pete Dunne or a Ryan Smile, like we wouldn't have been pushed to break out of our mindset and actually get better and like branch out and travel and want to learn from these different places, bring it back and start communicating and starting to form like I'm not going to say a union because like someone tried that already and it didn't work. But with the
Who's Lena Vega?
no
Sergeant Slaughter, dude.
Jesse Ventura, that didn't
Nobody
work out.
else of note.
No.
Nope.
But,
Nope.
No. Yeah, but like
Foxy's just thinking, "Fuck, I'm gonna have to edit this now."
yeah, painting myself in the corner. Fuck it. But, nah, fuck
That's
it.
him in the spotlight losing his religion.
Bollocks that. Yeah. Well,
That's actually one of my biggest regrets is not being able to have gone to a show in the Tivoli because I stopped watching wrestling for a few years when I probably around 6-7 years when I came in out thinking it was not thinking anything, just screw out of it. Then once I moved back down to Ireland again, I thought, oh yeah, wrestling, yeah. Oh, there's shows. What the fuck? Go to a show, it's like, why the fuck didn't I watch this before? That was like everyone kept mentioning Tivoli. I was like, what the fuck is the Tivoli? I don't have a clue. I'm not from Dublin, so I never even knew of it beforehand. And then I was like, oh yeah, it's this magical place. I was like, looked up pictures.
At the end of the rainbow, you will find the Tivoli.
Come on, Charlie. Let's go. At the end of the magic rainbow.
Jesus, you're going back now. Fuck.
Sean, the non-believer. Sean.
I remember my first OTT show was actually my stag.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was my first OTT show.
Don't you love your friends now for?
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it was in the National Stadium. The main event was Jesus. I think it was a triple threat. Ryan Smile. He had all the body paint on him. Who was he against?
You have to be more specific because he got painted up quite a few times. So.
Oh God, I can't.
National Stadium. Fuck.
Was it? No, it was National Stadium, and actually, there was a street fight as well with British Strong Style and Paul Tracy's group.
The elite, like the
I don't
social
know.
elite.
Sorry, but it was Pete Dunne at least. I remember Pete Dunne. And the social elite. I can't fucking remember. Anyway, that was the first one I went to, but I remember, you see, like, I remember, I heard Joe talking about this on a podcast before, saying, and it was weird because it was very similar for me. When I was growing up, like, watching WWF every Saturday morning or whatever. You know, it was one of those things that you think, oh, I want to be a wrestler, but I'm in Ireland, and that's a thing the Americans do. That's not something we can do.
Mm.
And kind of life got in the way. For me, life just happened, and by the time it kind of came round and I watched that show, I was kind of like, I was working two jobs, and I was kind of like, I really want to try to do this. And it was the first time. I was 32, and it was the first time I'd actually gone actively looking about trying to become a wrestler. And it was because of that show. But yeah, it was, as I said, it was just kind of late in my life because of stuff. And I do regret getting to it so late. In there, I did get to experience Tivoli and all that, but seeing the OTT show live and all that, that's what made me want it. It was kind of like, you know, this is just as good as anything that I've seen out there. You know, and they're producing this in Ireland. You know, I want to go do this, and then I ended up in MSW, and then went from there. You know, so yeah, you know, I've nothing but fond memories, of everything to do with OTT, really, and even as I say now, during the lockdown, I've reached out to several people, who have trained with and stuff. And if anything, the lockdown, it seems to have just, it kind of almost brings it seems to have brought people a little closer in an abstract way, like not literally. Do you get me? Is that everybody's missing one thing? Everybody wants to get back to that unified kind of thing, and
Yes.
and you know, everybody's realizing, oh, you know, it's not just wrestling. I miss all the guys and girls. I miss, you know, chatting.
You miss the banter as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I genuinely like these people. You know, I want to see them again. And it kind of, you know, going back to the lockdown again, it kind of hits that home too, where, you know, there's several people, I won't drop names, but like that I can't wait to see and give a big hug to, you know, like, because I genuinely miss those people, you know, and that's kind of, that's a great thing to look at it, is that like kind of making this decision and wrestling in general brought me new friends that I really do value and all that, you know, and it's always been nothing but positivity to me, personally speaking. I'm sure others have had negative, but personally, it's been positive.
Go on Twitter. I'm sure you'll find them very quickly.
I stay away from that cesspool as much as I can.
I do as well.
Same. I actually, when we were talking about earlier, I actually checked. The last time I posted some on Twitter was 2012.
Good man.
I posted something like yesterday, so I was like,
That shows how much I use Twitter. I only use Twitter to look at things that this person wrote this, and I'm like, okay, I'll do this. But up until like before COVID, I literally deleted Twitter.
Yeah.
My account was actually banned for some reason because there was inactivity, and I was like, oh, okay, oh well. Not go leave this unlocked for the next 6 years.
Like Twitter, like unfortunately, like some people do live on it, and they love being the keyboard warriors, as it were.
Yeah.
So like they think like if they chuck something out there, I don't have to be held accountable now. It's like, Grant, no, but unfortunately, like, and
we've seen several times this year alone that certain people should definitely be held accountable for certain things.
Oh yes.
Like I live on
not going to touch on that.
Not that bad.
No. But I mean, it's getting to the point where like these faceless avatars. I mean, it's look, it's a reason I stay away from it. I just don't need that extra shit in my life. I don't need people telling me bollocks about myself. I don't care. You know, there's people I go to for critiques about certain ideas or stuff I've done. Foxy's one of them. There's several other people that I know will be fair and open and honest with me. They're not going to be, you should just stop doing it altogether by your shit. You know, like they're going to actually try and help me. that shit isn't necessary in my life. I don't want it.
Sorry,
Don't
give me
need
1
it.
second. Yeah, you should definitely not do that. Like, how dare you?
So for the audio format, like Tony just like closed up like his fucking his camera, just like to be invisible.
Hey, my big brother lives like, what was it, 2 miles from you?
Yep, and I'll tell him the exact same thing I told you.
He'll fuck you up, son.
No, he'll just like
He still doesn't know
commend
where
you
I
and
live.
laugh.
I know where he lives though, and I won't go near there.
How creepy
my
that
life.
is.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a bit creepy.
Yeah, you know where he lives, but he doesn't know where you live. Oh,
Hold on,
no.
I'll give him a call and tell him that now. He'll just go, "What the fuck?"
Just check.
I'll call myself if you want.
Just check outside your window. I think someone might be stalking you.
Oh, sees me with the boombox. Won't you forget about me?
Nah, but like the way I always describe like OTT in the early days, especially to people that have never been to a show, I always described it as not really like a wrestling show. I described it as a great night out because back then you had like your deals on your drinks. You got to see your friends. You got to have a few drinks, and they just happened to be very relatable, good wrestling like put on. So therefore, like worst case scenario, you didn't like the wrestling, but you still had a good time at the with your friends having a few drinks. But most of the time, more often than not, it was more a case of like they went there not expecting that, and they were blown away that they wanted to come back. So,
oh man, when OTT was coming to
approve of that.
Waterford, when it was scheduled to come to Waterford originally in October, and then he moved it to January 21. That, I mean, obviously that's not going to be happening. But I had people in my workplace like gathered together. They were buying like 50 upwards tickets. These are people who didn't watch wrestling, had no interest in wrestling and all that stuff, but they'd heard that, oh, there's going to be drink there, and there's going to be like, you know, and me saying like how much genuine fun it is. And I've talked to so many non-wrestling fans who've gone to an OTT show specifically and just had so much fun, just because it was, in their eyes, just mental. And they were there drinking, they were with their friends, they were having a laugh. There's kind of a right dose of comedy in there, along with obviously hard-hitting stuff and all that. And it kind of ticked all the boxes. But I mean, it's that type of thing where I think it transcends everything.
mm-hmm.
If given
Definitely.
the chance.
Like with the like what I still find weird, because it's still odd to me. Like you don't realize how much it's grown, and it's weird when, and the reason I say that is like you don't realize how much it's grown until someone fucking recognizes you in the street, which is messed up. Like because
how many times have you had a Foxy?
you've no idea like how bad that has thrown my ass off. Like I remember like we did when we did our first Fringe Festival, which was held in City Centre, Marion Square, but it was like 2 days later. I was in City Centre along the quays, and randomly some dude walking by is like, "Foxy, what the fuck? What the fuck?" I thought like someone was like sneaking up on me. I was like, "What the fuck?" It was just so weird. And then
somebody's gonna sneak behind you and call you by your name.
Yeah,
Foxy.
But it's just paranoia. Like it caught me so off guard. Like, and especially like walking into one of my local shops, and then someone's like, "Ah, Foxy, what the fuck?" Like instantly, I'm cycling through my head like, how do I know this person?
Should I know you? Crap, should I know your name?
Yeah, and thankfully I'm wearing the mask, so they can't see me doing this fucking monologue. But it's just like, what? Not so realizing I'm wearing.
It'll be so much more funnier if you're in your local and someone said Foxy and you just turn around and be like, "Sorry, no photos."
No, I'm not on that level. Jesus, no. It's
I just want him to be. I want Foxy to be drunk and get like refused service. And do you not know who I am?
You know who I am.
I'm famous. Yeah. No, but like it's. I was like, how the fuck does he know who I am? Not realizing that. Oh yeah, look down. I'm wearing the fucking OTT like jacket. with the logo. I'm just like, I realize, oh,
Wait,
but
does
like,
that have your name on it as well?
no, it doesn't.
Oh.
But it's just like he's seen the logo and then put two and two together about who it was, like, because he could see some of my face before I put the mask on going
He
in.
just saw a ginger and he was
You're
like,
just
it
like,
has to be Foxy.
But,
Who else could it be?
but it was just like it was so weird, fun, but like weird because I still don't know how to kind of take that response. But I've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, I know that if they say Foxy, it's wrestling related. If
Right,
it's my,
right.
if that's how I know the difference, is like,
If it's kind of casual, it'll be Nile or something like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
but like if it is Foxy, then I know for definite it's wrestling related, and it's just like, oh, they must be at the show. I know
Okay,
that
carry
sounds
on.
weird. It's like, oh yeah, like, it was just at the show. No, but
So on today's episode, Foxy and his love for being called out in public.
But back
I
to
love
that,
it.
like just to kind of, I suppose, finish up on that point there. I suppose, look, what I love about wrestling and in my current life is that it has introduced me, as I was saying, to a lot of new friends. I would have never met Foxy if it wasn't through wrestling and all that, you know. And Foxy's a guy, like I mean, like several times I've sent you gimmick ideas and all that stuff to bounce off and all that, and it's a real valuable kind of opinion to have. But it seems to be the guys that are in there already, or any I've encountered, like Foxy and several others, Paddy, etc., are always so eager to help people who are trying to come in and are trying to do something and are trying to help in whatever way they can. And I suppose I haven't really experienced that before, where it's been so
accepting.
exactly. It's been kind of like, there's no, at least to me, there was no, like, you know, that shit, get a life. You know, it's more it's more of a line of, don't know if that'll work. What about doing this? What about trying this? It's actually trying to help me get to a goal as opposed to doing anything. And yeah, back to where we started. It's for reasons like that, and for the people I've met, and all that. So, and plus for getting in better shape than I had been in my life, that I really hope wrestling does come back, and I really hope it does come back. You know, I don't think it'll be back as it was, but back at least some semblance
capacity
of what it once was
Yeah.
in Ireland. I nobody knows, but I really hope it does. And those same great minds that we were talking about that started are still there, and I think they can do it again. It's just a different set of circumstances, and I think with time and effort and right people backing it, and the fans still hungry for it, I think it can come back, and it can be just as, if not more, successful.
Yes.
You know?
I think a reboot probably would help that even more, because it's a brand new fresh start after all the shit that's happened.
Agree completely.
With COVID, etc., all that crap.
Yeah. Think of it as a less shit WCW Big Bang.
We'll have all the new people, we'll have all the same people, and then we'll have Foxy Revin.
Yeah.
Because who else is gonna do it?
Well, you won't fucking train anybody else. It's not.
Don't you fucking blame me.
How long have I been asking now, Foxy? What is it? Fucking 4 years.
2 years. 2 years.
It's okay. I've already had a drunken conversation with him about this. My first time ever meeting him. One of the lads the next day was like, "You didn't know you kept on asking like the same question like 5 times." I was like, fuck.
That's what alcohol does to you.
So I had a text conversation with the boss when he had put up a question asking, this was a few years back, would anybody be willing to be trained as a ref? This was to all the students at the time. And I think I was the only one that said, yes, I want to. So he asked me, like, you know, what my height, all that stuff, all the usual stuff. And he said he had to run it past Foxy. Right.
Oh,
I think it's 3 years later. I still haven't heard from Foxy.
So, exclusive right here, Foxy. What was your reason for not training him? Is it because he was too old?
And then, no, do you know the worst part? Here's the worst part, right? I started hearing at shows from the back, right, that people were referring to me as the lad that they want to make a referee. Well, who the fuck wants to make me a referee when they want to fucking train me? I had several people saying, "Oh, you're the lad they want to train up as a referee." Who? Who wants to train me?
Please tell me. I want to talk to them.
I do. I find that really funny. That's a rib basically on me. That's him just like, yeah, I'm not having nothing to do with this. Like, I'll put the question out there, but like, I'm not actually doing that. When it realistically it actually is him that has the final say on who fucking does it. Like, that's why.
No, I know. I think if please do correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was that they didn't want to just do one fucking person. They wanted to make it a bit more worthwhile and get a few people in to do it all in one go. Because, and I do understand that, where, you know, your time and everything for training one person is a bit,
especially if they decide, no, it's not for me. And
exactly. And as I think we did discuss at some points, where sometimes you could step in there and just, hey, nothing on you, but you're just not meant for it. It's just, you're not, you know, there's a certain set of skills that come with being a referee. That's, you may not be able to. Oh, it's different. It's completely different. Yeah.
Some people think, oh, I can wrestle. I'd be able to do
there's time management. There's all this various stuff that has to go into it. So, I think it was said to me at some point where it was a case of, you wanted to have maybe at least 3 to 4, maybe in case, you know, maybe 2 of those people didn't pan out. Yeah. Maybe even 3. So at least you got one definite out of that class. You got somebody out of there that was worthwhile doing. You know? So, you know, joking aside, that I think that's the actual reason is there wasn't enough interest.
No, there wasn't enough. Because I think I've said it to you as well, is the fact that, like, and I've said it on other podcasts as well, the fact that, like, not a lot of people go in with the mindset that, okay, I may not be cut out for being a wrestler, but how else can I be involved? Yeah. Can I be a referee?
That's genuinely where I am. That's genuinely where I am.
And it's unfortunate because, like, not many people do go in with the mindset like, okay, like, the wrestling thing isn't working, but they just pack it in and go. They don't actually stop and think, okay, maybe my calling is somewhere else, which is what happened with me, is that I got booked as a ref originally because I was already wrestling in a mask. So it made sense to do double duty.
Yeah, of course.
So that's say the booker, like, having to book someone else. But during the course of it, it was just like my wrestling started getting less and less, and my ref started getting more and more, till eventually, like, there was no more wrestling and it was all fucking refereeing. And I joke about it. Like, I fucking miss wrestling. I do. Yeah. Because, like, I would love to still be doing it.
But I mean, surely, excuse me, sorry. Surely, you know, there's got to be times where you do get that outlet. You know, because you do get to do your bumps, you do get to do certain spots and all that stuff. So there's got to be a little bit of an outlet for that there.
Yeah, like, it's one of those things. Like, now I've said it to the boss man. It's like, it'd be nice just the odd one here and there. Doesn't have to be on this, but like a school show.
Actually, didn't we pitch something like that together?
Yes,
we did. We did.
We pitched something because my original idea when I had originally pitched about trying to train someone up, my idea behind it was because Contenders was only like about a year in. It was only like, it was still new. So I thought, right, if this is a place for like new talent to show up and get their names out there, why not like start a new lad as a referee? That way he can do like a couple matches on that, and you could have me switch out and fucking do like the big matches on the show. Yeah. And therefore, like, after they get a bit more experience in front of a crowd and how to work on with different match styles, then we can eventually graduate them up and do the main OTT shows.
Yeah.
That was my idea and my plan, but obviously plans don't go the way
Yeah.
you want them to, and unfortunately, like, but with it, it's like, as you said, like, it's an outlet. Like, I do some of the bumps and all that. Yes, I can still do it. Like, that's the thing. Like, it wasn't a case of like I got injured and I can't wrestle. No, I still can. I just, my body isn't programmed for the
Do yeah,
current style that's there. Give me a kid show any day and I'll
yeah,
do it and I'll be
yeah.
fine. But like, which is what I'd prefer. But the one big disadvantage though is, even though like I'm, like, people do say it, like I'm the referee in the country. Yeah, that's also like a glass ceiling basically that I can't get through, because if I'm supposed to be the best referee in the country, how come you're not using me to the best of my ability then? Like, I have the skills that obviously some people don't have. Why not use me to teach the
Yes.
next
Yeah.
bunch of lads? Like, I've asked in schools like up north, down south, and even in Dublin, and it's just one that was like, yeah, like, but what would you do? Like, or basically, yeah, we'll get you next time, or how much do you cost? And it's like, look, I'm not charging much. Like, this is all I'm asking for, and it's not even a lot. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm not discussing money because like it's not the place for it.
No.
But
No,
it,
never money.
but it is one of those cases like, look, my time and my like, and to be worthwhile to trek out to do these things, it has to be worthwhile. But I, at the end of the day, want to see more people, because like, God forbid, if something happened to me, where does, in regards
Yeah.
to referees, where does the country go?
Yeah, we've had this discuss. Like, I couldn't agree more with you. I think like it is something. Now I think, you see, part of the problem lies in the vicious circle. So there was a time in wrestling where nearly every wrestler started as a referee.
Mm.
So like Jake the Snake, they started as refs and all that, because it's the best place to learn
How
kind
shit is
of,
done.
yeah, from in the ring. You're seeing everything. You're seeing working
You're seeing all
crowds,
the timing,
selling,
what way they work.
exactly how to sell
Mhm.
everything. If you ever watch Foxy, he's constantly selling. You know, it's a constant movement and all that stuff. So it is learning everything like that. But I think on the point you touched on, Foxy, was correct in that a lot of people, I'm going to look, in my opinion, it's younger people, because, it's not a shot at them, but they're going in with just the singular mindset of
Mhm.
and that's it. If I can't be a wrestler, I can't be anything else.
Yeah.
And it's wrong. Now, obviously, because I went in as a fucking 32-year-old married man going in. I knew.
Well, at least I know I'm younger.
Yeah. Well, I'm 35 now. But I went into that knowing, like, if I do get a shot, it ain't going to be for long. Your body can only go for
definitely.
long, and that's it. But I was always of the mindset going like, can't do this. There's lots of other stuff I'd love to do. This can be my foot in the door. I can get to know some people, and hopefully I can get trained up to do something else if I can. And I think more people need to have that mindset. Whereas, if you can't be a wrestler, try. There's several other positions in the wrestling business that you could be fantastic at. Like, you just don't know.
Like,
You
a good
can't just write it off.
Yeah, like a good example, of it. Like, all right, look at Butch. Butch is a great example of someone that like started out as a wrestler, but found his calling as being the announcer.
Yep.
Wait, you started off as a
And
wrestler?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
started with Foxy, didn't he?
no,
I
Was he
did
not with
not
you?
know that.
I thought I saw a picture back in the day of MSW of you and him.
no, like he started a lot later. Like I've been in a lot longer than Butch, but it's just like,
So Foxy was still there, but he was a little bit older.
fuck you. No, but
Well,
like
thanks.
it's a good example though, like, of people that like go in to be wrestlers, but they find a calling doing something else.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, now I did the reverse order where, like you had said, people start out as being a ref and then become a wrestler. I was a wrestler, then transitioned to be a ref.
Yeah.
And I find that it was handy because I knew how moves went. Like I knew how things worked. But when doing the transition to being a ref, it was a case of like, as I said, with .e, I credit it immensely because like it did, like it's constant training, different styles, different crowds. You learned how to work, how to fucking move about, how to, because like the crew as well, you're working the same crew. It just, that's how everything got tight knit, and I got better and better and better. That's actually how I got when Joe Cook came back from America. He'd done a little tour with IE, and it was through that he asked me to do OTT. And
There you go.
obviously, like, he obviously liked what I was doing, so therefore he kept me on, and I've been
Yeah.
there ever since.
Yeah.
And like, apart from obviously, like, apart from himself, like like he's been to every show. I've only missed one.
Yeah.
And it wasn't true, like wasn't wasn't on purpose, as it were. Like, I
Yeah.
just could not get out of a prior commitment.
But you see, therein lies your point that you just said. Like, what happens when you do have that sudden emergency?
Yeah.
You know, knock on wood, but where you're not available, there has to be somebody that they can go, right, fuck, call them up or whatever, on standby or whatever. So look, you know, you'd hope that something like that would happen when everything starts back again, but you know, it's a guessing game.
Yeah.
I think
Like-
I have a good solution for that though.
Yeah,
You should
train
just-
people up.
No, just tell the boss man that you're thinking of retiring in a year.
No.
Oh Jesus! Don't do that.
No.
That's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea.
So we should definitely get people trades.
No, that's not how you do shit. Fuck that. No. But like, but also he knows I would never do that. Like, I never stick him like that. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, with that, like, he knows that I'm someone who is basically a company guy. Like, I want to be here, want to help, I want to see this grow as much as possible, like as far as we can take it. And I just want Ireland to be, I had said it on the OTT podcast, that I want Ireland to be held in the same regard that England is always held in regards to wrestling.
Yes.
It's
yeah,
always
yes.
highly respected when people talk about it. I want Ireland to be that way. But with the type of talent that we're producing and sending out, and then branching off, like, I wanted to grow to that kind of level.
So here's the $1 million question, Foxy. You get a call tomorrow from the big baddie to go to the UK and work alongside good old Sharpie there. What are you gonna do?
Sign. I've made no secret. No, it's not like gonna be a surprise to people that know. It's like, if that was, because God forbid, like, if that was to happen as well, that is one of the circumstances. Like, if that was
Yeah.
to happen,
Yeah, that's true.
of course I'm gonna take it, because look, it's
It's advancing your career.
Yeah.
I mean,
advancing
you
my
have to.
career, but it's also like a steady living. And especially when I have a family, it's just like, okay, yes, as much as I like,
A steady
wrestling.
living in the business you love.
Yes.
I mean, what more
Like-
could you want, really?
like,
I mean,
you're doing something that you love and you're getting paid for it. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's the fucking dream. Like,
And
Yeah.
you're on TV.
yeah.
yeah, but like, no, like, in regards to that, like, I'm more excited. If that was to happen, I'd be more excited about learning about how
Yeah.
things work.
yeah.
Like, not only like how TV works, but also how, like,
how
how
a
they
bigger
go about-
production, how
yeah.
a big production would happen, and kind of see
Because-
things from that side.
because like with others,
Sorry,
obviously,
I'll be
like,
back in 1 second.
like with others that have been to bigger stages, like, to Deva, who's been to Japan and all over the world, and then WWE, like, to be able to bring his knowledge of, like, wrestling, how match works, to all the wrestlers here in the country.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to be able to do that and show, like, the production side as this is what's expected, this is what happens, here's how they do it, and here's how we
This
can
is what
probably
they
do it.
want to see. This is what they would do in that situation. So
Yeah.
you're teaching
So
them that
so
way. Yeah, that
let's
makes
start to
sense.
gear toward that. We can still be like indie, but like let's give them something on almost to that level, as it were,
Yeah, but
because
you're also gearing up the trainees who, if their goal is to get there,
they're giving them
they
the
have a
tools.
leg up because
Yeah,
they know what is expected when they get there. So they're not going in blind. So it is something, and it is interesting. And I can't say I blame you because I do that exact same damn thing. I mean, if you get to make money, a steady income for your family from something that you love, what's the downside? You know, you got
like
to do a little bit more traveling. I'll put up with that for a steady paycheck, no problem.
no problem.
You know,
I've no issue with that. Like I've I've thought about this like a lot, and it's just like they might ask me to to travel. I don't mind that. That's a small like
it's what, a half hour on the plane, no big deal.
yeah, thereabouts, like half hour, 45 minutes. But like,
Yeah,
and as far as I'm aware, like with the way they do their tapings,
I
it's like
think they do a big
once
chunk together, don't
yeah,
they?
a
Yeah,
big chunk like there and then you're free for the next few weeks,
yeah,
unless they need you back over for something else.
yeah,
But like that's a fucking eh, that's an easy fucking like steady thing. Like
yeah. I mean, like like, I mean, that's guaranteed paycheck. You have enough time off to spend with your family then at home. Go fly back over then a couple of weeks time, do it again. I mean, it's, again, I don't really see a downside. And
no,
yeah, it does link back again that if something like that was to happen, that's another thing that could take you out of the picture, or at least reduce your time, or not reduce your time, but reduce your availability
yes,
to it.
like, and that's why like I've been doing it like this. Like I've been involved in wrestling for 14, nearly 15 years, and I've been a referee for 10, almost 11. So like it's one of those cases like you can't teach experience, and that's the infuriating thing because like if someone what if we were to have gotten like yourself or someone else or a few others to train say 2 years ago or 3 years ago, like at least then they would have been at a level that's like okay, if something were to happen, I wouldn't mind because at least I know they're competent at this point.
Yeah,
Like they've been in it, they've been doing it regularly for X amount of time.
yeah,
But whereas like now it's a case of like, okay, we can't do anything. And if training is gonna happen, it needs to fucking happen and we need to get people on the shows. Like
yeah.
basically
I mean, they have to be live trained. It has to be.
it has to be
There's
live
no
because
way you
like
can do it.
it's all I can really do, especially if it's a case of like, all right, I have a very limited schedule. So it means that like when I do come over and fucking, or if I come down and try to teach, it should be taken on board. It's like, look, like I don't have to do this, but I
Yeah,
want to do this, which I do. I want to do this. I want to help,
because
and
you
I
want to ensure the future.
yes, because as they say, like it, it's good to give back give back to the business, like because you never know who is on the horizon. And another thing is that like always be nice to everyone because you never know who is on the rise and who might help you down the line as well. Like it's a silly thing, but like if you're nice to everyone and you work with everyone and you build a good reputation, it means that people will probably go out of their way to actually make sure that they help you later down the line. Like
yep,
so, like just spitballing like a scenario, like just okay. If say for example, like if I'm working with lads from their absolute debut, like they're brand spanking new, and say in 2 3 years time they're at a point where they're already like going to probably say Young Lions, or they're going to Ring of Honor, or they're going somewhere here. It means that that builds connection when you're just like, here, do you know what they need? Like if they need a ref or if they need this, like what do you think you
could you put
can?
my name forward? Yeah,
Yeah, like things like that. Like I know it seems silly, but you never know who you who you could be talking to. Like,
100%.
so be nice to everyone, treat everyone with respect. Unfortunately, like, it's missing half the time, but it's.
It
But I
can pay
mean,
you
like,
back, but it's also just nice to do.
yeah, just don't be a dick and be nice,
Yeah.
like because you'll have more fun that way. It's just the way it is.
No, 100%. I couldn't agree
Yeah.
more. Like anytime I've gone, like, look, there's obvious like standouts of people that I are just so nice and so and get along. You know, Thatcher springs to mind as just a genuinely good person that I really like to be around. Um, and several others. But it makes all the difference. It makes such a huge difference for everybody to just have, like, it sounds stupid, but good vibes in the place. It
Mhm.
honestly does make a difference where it just makes you happier to be there. You don't mind doing a 16-hour day or whatever, being in there from the morning, getting a ring set up right up until the show ends at night and taking it down. You don't mind because you're there having fun with
Yeah.
nice,
Having a bit of
good
crack.
people.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's same in work. It's same in like a actual
Exactly.
workplace as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
If you have a boss or you have a work colleague, a Karen or something like that, it's just gonna bring your mood down and affect.
Sorry,
your work.
what'd you say? Oh,
Karen.
Karen.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to pop for that one. Nah, but
I'm not against any Karens, but it's a term. It is a term. You've Karen and you've Kevin, and that's a term. I'm not going to talk about Kevin though, because I know he'll kill me.
Oh, Phil, if you're listening, I'll get his address for you later.
now,
And with that, I'm gonna move on now.
nah, but like, look, it's fun. Like, yes, you're right. Like, if you have good vibes, you have no problem spending like as many hours as required for the shows, um, because you're around good people and you're having a good time. Like, I miss it dearly. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
like, I miss my friends.
Yeah.
I do. I miss my friends. I miss having fun. I miss being on a show. I miss being in front of a crowd. I miss everything about it because it was one of the things that I know I'm good at, and that's not in a way that is like, oh, I know I'm good at it. Oh, I can do this. Like, I'm a big egotistical bastard here. Like, no, I just like, and I don't want it to seem like, oh yeah, too many people have said it. So it's just, it's very hard not to take that on board. But I try to stay humble because I know that if I was to go somewhere else, I'm gonna be back at the bottom of the totem pole, and
Yeah.
it's good to keep myself leveled to basically just like, okay, I know once, even though I'm no, because that paints me as, well, what I was gonna say would
Do
paint
it.
me in as an egotistical bastard. It's just
No, we all know you're not.
so
I was not going to just say you were.
it's like, you know, no,
You see, look, it
You've already
sucks.
started.
yeah, big fish, little pond. There you go.
It sucks in a fact. Like, I got waylaid several times. I got hurt a couple times. Then I cared for my dad for a long time, and then he passed, and that kind of put training on the back burner for me for a while. So I wasn't there as much because I couldn't be, because my head wasn't with it at all, and that's when bad things happen in the ring or whatever. So look, my heart wasn't in it, so I missed out, and it felt like just before the first lockdown that I was finally getting back to doing it. I had a clear game plan that what we were going to do was I was going to be in the tag team, and we had this cool original gimmick idea. Well, not original, but it not being done currently anywhere. I don't think we had this idea to do it, and we really thought this is money. So I just need to kind of get trained up and all that stuff. Then lockdown hit, and yeah, like you said, it's just a fucking kick in the nuts, because you miss your friends, you miss everything, and then especially when you feel like you had everything going back on track, that you're actually going to get somewhere now because you have a clear set game plan, and it's rugs pulled out from underneath you. And you, man, you were saying you'd kind of you had kind of started on your journey,
Yeah.
and you got the rug pulled out from you as well when lockdown kicked, Tony.
Yeah, like I don't know how far I was gonna go. I was doing it for the love of it because I love wrestling. I was like, one of my friends, he was actually training a lot longer than I was, and I was like, oh, this is cool. But my dream then was to wrestle him and beat the shit out of him, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I'm the bigger guy.
As you do.
But then, but then it just literally got like I went to train and I was training with Paddy, and it was just fun. I honestly thought it was going to be completely different because unfortunately I'd watched shows like Tough Enough.
Jesus Christ!
I know, Mark, but I had a completely different outlook of what a training school was going to be like.
Oh, it was going to be Bill DeMott bursting into your fucking room. Get the fuck down!
I was going to see Joe be like, do everything.
Oh, you haven't been to Monday nights then?
No, I have not. I've only been Saturdays. I was never Monday nights. I was told how Monday nights were. I was happy with Saturdays.
Monday nights were great. I was joking. Monday nights are brilliant.
Oh, no. Monday nights were for the intermediate advance. I was nowhere near there, so I was not going near there with a 10-foot barge pole. But just the atmosphere, even, like, you had people coming from all across the areas going to one particular place. Like, I don't know how you guys feel, because you were, like, friends with loads of different people going to these matches every month. Literally people from all over the country meeting up in one particular place. And now with lockdown, you just can't meet. Just you are literally like an hour away, you can't see each other. But yeah, if a show was on, you'd all be in one place.
Yeah. Like when I first started wrestling, like the only person I knew, like with yourself, you started training with your friend. I started training about a year after Thatcher, and he brought me down to the facility, and that's who I was training with for a good bit. Like I tried to introduce a few friends like to it, and they didn't stick around. But like through the course of it, like started making my own friends. I started breaking out my shell. It took me years. It actually did take me years, like to break out my shell. But when I started making friends, then I started to really enjoy it. And then when I started to enjoy it, I started actually being able to get better, and actually things clicked a bit better. So it takes time. It does. And like for some people, like everyone has their own paces. Like some people will take to say, so for me, I took to the moves so fast, like that they put me in a match 3.5 months in. Like I was nowhere near ready. Like nowhere near ready. But I took to the moves far quicker than lads that have been there a year and a half, like just to learn simple moves, like at the start of a match. But what I really lacked was I couldn't talk, couldn't communicate, didn't guess psychology whatsoever. So that took me years to actually learn. Like it wasn't till it was actually in the middle of a match in 2010 when I learned to call in a match. Like it literally like that. It just clicked.
Wow, okay.
That's how weird it is. Like sometimes it just comes like that, and sometimes it's gradual.
Yeah.
But it's like the middle of a match, 2010, I learned to call. Then come 2012, so 12, 13, and 14, I was doing .e. So therefore I learned better footwork as well as being able to sell, how to position myself, and not only that, it was just being more a solid hand.
Yeah.
And as a referee, starting to get better because of it, because I'd already started the wrestling training. But again, it took years to do that. And when I started doing the referee training, that took years to actually get more comfortable with it. Because when you watch early OTT, it's just you will actually see that I'm I'm stiff. I'm hugging a corner. I'm just like a fucking robot. But over the course of the years, you can see me like get more
Get
comfortable.
animated and yeah.
I'm getting animated and I'm getting closer to people. Like I'm actually learning to call and talk to people. It's a long,
It's a slow process. Yeah.
long, slow process. But some people take to it a lot quicker. Some people don't.
Actually, a bit of a funnier story for you. Just as slightly on topic still. Just back to the early days of doing it. I remember early training days. So I went on my own, starting off, and it was in MSW, and ironically, Kev was there. He was different classes to what I was doing, and this utterly confused Fabulous Nicky, who was training the class, because he kept saying, "You look the fucking exact same as him. What the right?" And he couldn't believe it. And he was like, "It turned out we were from the same place. We had the same group of friends, but yet we had never met."
Yeah.
Right. And Fabulous Nicky couldn't wrap his head around this at all. So I remember one day I was training with Kev, and kind of, we were two of the bigger guys in the class, so they kind of paired us off together to do stuff, just to do stuff together. And we were doing it. I remember we were stopping, and Lenny came over. And so Nicky got down. He just goes, "Hold on a second, lads." And he goes down over there and goes, "See them two, right? From the same place, same friends, never fucking met. They have to be a fucking tag team. There's no fucking choice here. We need to be a fucking tag team." And that's how the whole idea started.
That's the way some
then
gimmicks start.
Even to this day, he still calls us Shit Bullet Club.
Look, go for it.
I was gonna say, I can even see with you guys. I can see us cheating so much.
Oh fuck! Man,
like,
I don't want to give it away,
handy.
but one of the angles we were gonna pitch was fucking Twin Magic, baby. That was one of the debut angles we were gonna pitch. Was he was gonna be fucking losing the ring? I was gonna be wearing the same thing, hiding under the ring. He was gonna roll out. I was gonna roll in, and the classic.
So
shit.
It's gonna be like Edge with bloody Zack Ryder.
It was gonna be fucking Kurt and Eric Angle. Is what it was. It was going to be fan fucking tastic. We had all these. This is what I was saying about having a clear path. We had these brilliant pitches that I really loved.
I'm just gonna text him now and say, "Oh, I dibs you."
And we had these great pitches, and then it was like fucking COVID. It was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
And I gave you a couple of them as well, like, because I thought work.
Yeah, there's some great ones, because to be fair, Foxy, you were one that actually kind of supported the idea of us as a team, because nobody was doing the whole, I might as well say, doing the whole brothers gimmick at the moment, or at least doing it to a convincing extent. And there was kind of several iterations that we were doing, and we did run them past Foxy. And to be fair, Foxy has kind of been one of our supporters, behind the stage, going so far as pitching us to several places with him, with ideas that I won't go into because I'm still hopeful they will eventually pan out, but like ideas that are just fucking fantastic. And I mean, and I think, that lends itself back to your wrestling days and stuff, where you can still, I suppose, even more so than myself, or Kevin, like that, you can still see what, because of your experience, what will and won't work. Like, I've sent you stuff where you've been able to definitively say, I don't think that will work here. And then you've been able to say, but I have this great idea about doing da 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 da, and being able to pitch it in such a way that you've turned my mind and very much going, Jesus, yeah, actually, that's way better. That's something I hadn't even thought of. Fuck, that'd be really cool. And that's kind of, again, to your point, it's down to experience and knowing where you're going from and what to pitch, what won't work and what will work in certain areas with certain crowds.
But not only that, it's more a case of like, okay, you're basically filtering the idea that's been presented and representing it in a way. It's like, okay, this is what you presented. So this thing, just take that out, put this in instead. If you do this here instead of at the end, that'll get a better reaction. And then if you also add this subtle motion, that can add 10 times of a reaction to it. It's just little things can be added or taken away, but will make the idea actually more solid and just like, okay, you don't come across as newbies or people that don't know what they're doing. Here's someone who has a solid idea that, okay, if done right, this could. I'm a fan of ideas that benefit everyone in the process.
Yeah.
Which is what I had said to you before. It's the fact that like with the ideas that I had pitched to you and for Kev, it was a case of like, right, here's a way we get you two involved, but let's not just do it for the sake of doing it. We'll actually do it for the sake.
It's lending other stuff, helping sort that out, but it's also bringing us in too, so that there's something there for future to come back around to for the other people. It's exactly like you said. It's helping everybody. It's working towards a common cause to help that particular business.
Because with the idea, it was a case of like, right, this place is lacking on tag teams, but at the same time, we're also like trying to figure out how to do this particular storyline. Where does it progress? So how about we do this, and this leads to them being slowly introduced. Therefore, like when this happens, they can instantly get their turn, and then that sets them up for at least 4 to 6 months if it's done right,
correctly.
But at least that's an idea that can be used to either debut or to slowly introduce you into
and it's also, as you were saying, like it's getting foots in the door. It's getting that foot in the door where it's like, look, even if it doesn't pan out exactly how you want it, or even if hopefully it does, but if it doesn't, well, you still have these two guys now that you now have, you can utilize. You can use them whatever way you want. Their foot is now in the door. There you go. It's as you said, it's helping everybody. It's
like it's a full thought out plan, but at the same time, if need be, you can skeletonize it where it's like, okay,
you could strip it right back.
So here's the idea to bring them in, but here you can implant that to whichever scenario, and therefore you can still make it work. So that's the idea of like, okay, let's bounce it off someone and see what they think. And it's always good to get, like with wrestling, like whether you like it or not, good and bad opinions. Like you won't know it until you'll know it. But it's one of the cases, like at least if you hear from multiple, if you hear something being said bad about more than 5 times, like chances are it's a bad idea. But at least like you're getting the different perspectives. Even if someone who's say on a lower level than where you're at, if like they're saying it mid-level, high level, if they're all saying it, then it's a bad idea. But if it's a case of like, okay, they didn't like it, but this person liked it, and they weren't too sure, so it's an iffy.
Let's see where we go with it for a little bit.
So it's always good to get those opinions.
So that means there's room for improvement.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. And there are, this is a point I made earlier, but like I know for me personally, there's certain people that I know without hesitation I can go to with ideas, and I know I'm going to get an honest critique. There's going to be no maliciousness there. It's just going to be honesty, which is what you want. You don't want somebody blowing smoke up your ass, and you don't want
to be around the bush, and
you don't want somebody being mean for the sake of being mean either. You just you just want an honest critique, and that's all you want. And I'm the same. If anybody ever asks my opinion on anything, I'll give it. I'll never mean any offense by it at all, but I'll give my opinion to the best of my ability. On it, because they've taken their time to come to me and ask me something. I want to treat them with respect, and I want to be nice and polite back, and
it is a case that some people they don't necessarily mean it maliciously. They just don't know how to structure it in a nicer way to basically say, okay, I don't like this, but they just rely like
a little bit more of a communication breakdown, I suppose, rather than
like they don't have that like that tool to just like, okay, I don't like this, but here, like, what if you did this? Like, if you start bouncing it, it will actually like become a better idea. But when it's just like stops dead, it either it's a communication breakdown or it's just someone that just doesn't understand it.
Yeah.
So, but again, that's wrestling. Nah,
Really?
like
I feel like I've talked way too much, Tony. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I
I was
tend
being
to do that.
perfectly honest. I prefer drinking.
he's just like quietly drinking.
He's just changed his
taking
name
it
to
in.
Kev's new tag partner, Tony, you dick.
Oh, I done that like 10 minutes ago. I've been waiting for that pop for like 10 minutes.
I'm not gonna lie, I missed that as well. I was like, oh shit, he did. It's like that's a longer name. Oh shit. Yeah. No,
I
like,
done it when we were talking about it. I was like, oh, this might get a reaction.
You need to shave off those luscious locks if you're going to be getting into this team, son.
I could be the black
It's
sheep.
baldies
I could
only.
be the one. No. I was gonna say I could be bald.
Is
on my
this because
sides.
you look like a baby-faced Braun?
ooh, there's be fighting words.
He does though. You look
Yeah.
like a baby-faced Braun Strowman. That's not a bad thing.
That's a good thing.
There's only one downfall. I have baby hands.
Get these baby hands.
It's like, get these hands.
He's like Robin from the Teen Titans. Just fucking baby hands. Just like,
Itty bitty hands.
I'm like Deadpool when he gets had to go back. Like,
I wonder if it feels differently.
Oh
1
God.
second.
Oh no.
No, but like obviously like that's been locked down. Like that's been wrestling, and hopefully it's a little bit of a perspective, like different perspectives on certain on that topic. Like it is fun to hear like certain stories as well. It's
I have lots more. We'll do off air.
yeah. No, but I suppose as I bring this to a close, like, look, I want to say thank you to the two of yous for coming on. To anyone listening, please like, subscribe, share. Please, like, feedback is always appreciated because I want
We
to
were
make.
just talking about it, people.
Yeah.
Fucking be nice.
I do. I want to make this podcast better. It, like, especially for like.
Wait, bro, son?
Not like never mind. Anyway,
Let him do his outro, damn it.
Yeah. So, thanks for throwing me off there, fucker. Anyway, well, look, thank you again. Hopefully, we should see you again in the next one. Until then, bye bye.
Bye.